2026 has genuinely been one of the strongest opening quarters for cinema I can remember in a long time. And I don't say that lightly because the first quarter of most years is basically where studios send films to die quietly. Not this year. This year, we got a Ryan Gosling sci-fi blockbuster that broke Amazon MGM's opening weekend record. We got Sam Raimi back in his element, making something properly unhinged. And we got a horror sequel that might genuinely be the best in its entire franchise. And we're still months away from Nolan's Odyssey and Spielberg's Disclosure Day. So before the summer swallows everything whole, let's rank the 3 best films 2026 has given us so far. If this is your kind of content, subscribe and hit the bell. We do this every week. Coming in at number 3 is a film that snuck into January and immediately became one of the most talked about movies of the year. And honestly, it had absolutely no business being this good. Sam Raimi's Send Help stars Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien as 2 colleagues who survive a plane crash and wash up on a deserted island. The catch? She's the perpetually overlooked corporate strategist who just got passed over for a promotion by him. The boss. The pampered, velvet loafer-wearing idiot who couldn't start a fire if his life depended on it. Which it now does. What makes Send Help genuinely extraordinary isn't the premise. It's what Raimi does with it. This is a man who made Evil Dead, the original Spider-Man trilogy, and Drag Me to Hell. And Send Help feels like all 3 of those films somehow had a very chaotic baby. It's got practical effects, projectile bodily fluids, Danny Elfman's score doing something that sounds like a 1940s adventure serial, and a central performance from Rachel McAdams. That is, I will say it plainly, the best work of her career. She plays Linda Little frumped down, socially aggressive, deeply competent, and then the island arrives and every single dynamic flips. The moment she's standing over her helpless boss on that beach, radiating capability, is genuinely one of the most satisfying character turns I've seen in years. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 93%. IndieWire gave it an A- and called it wickedly lovable with the potential to be timeless. They're not wrong. This is the most purely enjoyable Raimi has made in years. Go see it immediately and bring someone you want to impress. At number 2 is a film I have been waiting years for, and it paid off in every way that mattered. 28 years later, The Bone Temple is directed by Nia DaCosta, picks up directly where Danny Boyle's 28 years later left off last year, and then proceeds to take everything you thought you knew about this franchise and throw it into a fire. Literally, a satanic cult fire. The film follows young Spike, now embedded in Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal's gang of tracksuit-wearing, Jimmy Savile-inspired Satanists, while simultaneously tracking the quietly extraordinary Ralph Fiennes as Dr. Kelson, a man who has built a literal temple from human skulls in the wasteland and spends his days listening to Duran Duran on vinyl and trying to befriend an infected apex creature through the power of hallucinogenics. The film is legitimately a lot. What DaCosta pulls off here is remarkable. This is not Boyle's film. She makes no attempt to copy his visual style, his pacing, his energy. She does something wholly original within the franchise's DNA. The bleakness is still there, but so is this anarchic, darkly hilarious streak that keeps the whole thing unexpectedly alive. And Jack O'Connell as Jimmy Crystal is absolutely, properly unhinged. The kind of villain who looks like he might actually believe his own mythology, except for those moments where you can see him adjusting the lie in real time to maintain control. It's the kind of performance that makes your skin crawl and makes you lean forward simultaneously. Rotten Tomatoes has it certified fresh. The consensus calls it a mad, visceral mood piece with a surprisingly substantial amount of humanity. That is exactly right. Go in knowing it's dark. Come out knowing it was worth it. And at number 1, and honestly this wasn't even close, is a film that reminded me why I genuinely love cinema in the first place. Project Hail Mary, directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, written by Drew Goddard, starring Ryan Gosling, is the best science fiction blockbuster since Interstellar. I said what I said. Science teacher Ryland Grace wakes up alone on a spaceship light years from Earth with no memory of how he got there. As his memory returns, he discovers his mission: solve the mystery of the organism that's literally eating the sun and save humanity before it's too late. And somewhere along the way, he meets Rocky. And Rocky is the best thing in cinema this year. Rocky is an alien made entirely of granite-like material with no eyes and a voice that Gosling's character has to essentially decode from sound frequencies. He's a practical puppet operated by a team of 5 puppeteers, not CGI, a puppet, and he is more emotionally affecting than 90% of human performances in the last decade. The friendship that develops between Grace and Rocky is the film's entire heart, and it earns every single emotional beat it asks you to feel. I am not embarrassed to say I was in bits. Gosling is doing something here that not many actors can pull off, playing an everyman who is also quietly brilliant, genuinely funny, and completely alone in the universe, and making all 3 of those things feel real simultaneously. The film opened to $141 million worldwide, broke Amazon MGM's debut record, and holds a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is my number 1 film of 2026 so far, and if it doesn't make your year-end list, I will be genuinely confused. And that's the top 3 for the year so far. And we're not even at summer, not even close. Spielberg, Nolan, Jordan Peele, and whatever else the second half has waiting for us. I genuinely don't know how 2026 has any right to be this good this early, but here we are. From a satanic cult in a post-apocalyptic wasteland to Ryan Gosling making friends with a granite alien, the range of what cinema can do when it's actually trying is something that never stops being worth celebrating. The best films aren't always the loudest ones. Sometimes they're the ones you find yourself thinking about days later. Those are the ones that matter. Which of these 3 have you seen? And which one are you watching tonight? Drop it in the comments. A quick thumbs up goes a long way. It helps more film lovers find this channel, and it genuinely means a lot. And subscribe to Movie Reel Ranked if you want more of this. New lists every week.